Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Nick
I'm Mike.
And I'm Jackson.
from Top Notch Sports. Today, we're going to be going over the Super Bowl 55 questions and answers again between these two very, very good, solid teams. You got the Chiefs, you got the Buccaneers. Mike right now is currently in Tampa. Mike, how's the weather?
Beautiful, man. You should see this sky. This sky is great. I wish you guys were here. Beautiful.
I know. Right now, I'm in Las Vegas. I mean, it's nice weather, nice and warm. Jackson, where the hell are you?
In Kansas City, embracing the snow.
We can see. Nothing special. All right. So, look, let us know how the audio is right now because.
I just gotta ask you. Sorry to interrupt, Jackson. You use the same barber the Chiefs use?
Mike, I hope that guy rolls in the stream. That'd be so funny.
That was so hilarious. All right, let's continue.
All right. So, first things first, I don't know how we're sounding right now. Hopefully, we're not getting a bunch of. Yeah, all right. I think we're sounding actually pretty good. I'm not too sure, though.
All right,
I think so.
We're gonna ask some questions, man.
I know. We need some people to join the stream, ask us a few questions about what's going to go on and happen in the Super Bowl. I mean, John Roby says it's much better, so I'm going to trust you, John, that it is much better.
John.
Day one, John. I want to know how you keep finding us. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that is questionable. My hands are up here, fellas.
Because it's Noah.
Is Noah's John?
It would be ironic if it was Noah.
It would be. All right, so first things first, here we go again. You got the Kansas City Chiefs, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay's been hot. Kansas City's losing their offensive line. They don't have their outside line or their linebacker coach in general, and Britt Reed. He most likely is going to be presented with a DUI with getting in a car accident and severely damaging a bunch of people, plus a 5-year-old child that was in the midst of things. Hopefully that child's okay. We'll have to wait and see as rumors come out. We'll figure that out. Again, just pure stupidity. You cannot be so selfish that you're going out drinking before a Super Bowl and getting in a car accident. Not that you should not just do it because you're in a Super Bowl, but you should never do this in the first place. Go ahead, Mike.
Before the Super Bowl, that means nothing. You shouldn't be doing that at all. It's just terrible timing. But it's bad any day of the week.
Absolutely.
In a mistake like that.
I agree. I just feel like, and you know for a fact, like people do this all the time, but it's just, I mean, there's no excuse. Every time you get behind the wheel after you're drinking, you are putting other people at risk. And no, I don't really care what happens to you. I care about what happens to the innocent people that had nothing going on with them. That child didn't deserve that. Reed decided to go behind the wheel, and now he put another's family and child at risk because of his own stupid action. You can't do that. You cannot do it. It's inexcusable, and it should not happen. So as we get off of that topic real fast, we talked about the Chiefs now and how, in my opinion personally, after that happened, I feel like Andy Reid, because it's his son that it happened to, is kind of, I mean, you got to think, he's probably a little bit distracted. I know people say, well, it's a big game, you can't get distracted, but he probably is. When your son gets in a car accident, you're probably on the phone with the son, you're on the phone with the other people at the hospital, making sure that little kid's okay. You're on the phone with lawyers, you're on the phone. You can't be game planning for a Super Bowl when your kid just got in a multiple car accident with a DUI most likely. I mean, that's what I think he said he was drinking while he was driving to a police officer. That's not a good look. That's not a good look at all. And I mean, you got to take this into consideration. What happens next? Any of you guys have an idea? I mean, this hurts Kansas City's preparation. They already got their bats up against the wall without an offensive line, and now this happens. So I'm going to let Jackson, since you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, let me let Jackson. Go ahead, Mike.
This is where Eric Bieniemy comes into play. Let's see if Eric Bieniemy can have this team prepared when Andy Reid is dealing with a hard situation at home. It's going to show us the type of leader he is.
I would have to
100% agree with you.
Jackson was making that point the other day. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, so definitely losing the offensive line hurts. Offensive line is arguably the most, it's probably one of the most important positions on the football field. I mean, I've been saying my entire life, pay offensive linemen, not running backs and all that. But, I mean, we've been without an offensive line all year. We've seen guys step in. Austin Ryder's played phenomenal at center. Andrew Wiley's been a solid guard for us. Mike Remmers has played solid. Losing Fish hurts. Eric Fisher in the AFC Championship game. Trying to see what happens there. I know we did have a couple undrafted guys in this past offseason, so we're going to have to see if they can step up in the big game. I hope they will, and I think they will. But I want to get to the point I want to go back to Week 12 where the Chiefs did face this Bucs team. I want to talk about Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce for a minute. You can't guard both of them. All right, it's either you're gonna double Hill and you're gonna let Kelce eat, or it's gonna be vice versa, and you're gonna double Hill and let Kelce do all that. But I mean, the defense. I mean, I'm worried about the Bucs secondary. Again, I mean, who's gonna cover Tyreek Hill? Who's gonna contain Travis Kelce? I mean, without an offensive line, you're gonna rely on that front seven to go get after Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they did the same thing against Aaron Rodgers. But here's the thing about Mahomes. I mean, his numbers prove it. And I know Nick's not a big numbers guy, but I'm going to say it. Against the blitz, this dude's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL against the blitz. And against coverage, this dude just picks it apart. All right, you give him time to throw. I mean, he's just going to pick you apart. And I know, Mike, you made this point last night, I'm pretty sure, that Mahomes is going to need to get the ball out quick, and I absolutely 100% agree with you. Give Tyreek Hill the ball underneath. Give it to Travis Kelce 5-10 yards down the field, quick routes. I think it's going to be key for this team to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be a tough game. I mean, you never bet against Tom Brady. I mean, I know you said that earlier, but you never bet against Tom Brady. This dude's been here 10 times, so he has the most experience out of anyone. He completely changed the culture of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, it's practically the same team. Just plug out Jameis Winston and plug in Tom Brady. But we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I mean, tomorrow's going to be a great game. This could be arguably one of the best Super Bowl matchups we have ever seen with Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes. But I'm super excited to watch this game. I can't wait to see who brings it home.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. All right. So I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win this game. I thought this before the offensive line injury, before all the adversity going on. I think Tom Brady is not going to allow his team to lose this game. Tom Brady holds a lot of records, has a lot of firsts in the NFL. He's going to have another one. He's going to be the first team to win a Super Bowl at home, the second player in NFL history to win a Super Bowl with two different teams. The man just has been amazing. What he did this year, stepping into a different organization. He's played for the Patriots his whole life, stepping into a different organization and immediately leading them to a Super Bowl is absolutely impressive. And like I was saying to you before, Jackson, this is a different Buccaneers team than the Chiefs played in Week 12. This defense got better, and Tyreek Hill won't do what Tyreek Hill did against them the first time around because Pat Mahomes isn't going to have the time. Pat Mahomes isn't going to have the time to drop back and launch 60-yard touchdowns at Tyreek Hill because he's going to be sacked with this weak offensive line. So like you said before, they're going to need to get rid of the ball quick, and the receivers are going to have to outrun people. So it's going to come down to open field tackles for Tampa Bay, and they are very good at tackling in the open field. So that's why I seriously think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win this game. Brady wins his 7th Super Bowl and just becomes the greatest football player to ever put cleats on. Arguably already is, but this solidifies it.
Yeah, no, I agree with almost every statement Mike made. The only thing I disagree with, well, not that I disagree with, but I didn't hop on the bandwagon as soon as Mike did. I think the Chiefs would win this game if it wasn't for the offensive line. I think the Chiefs would win this game if it wasn't for the linebacking coach, Reed, getting a DUI and potentially who knows what's going on. The distractions, the constant injuries, you can't overcome this. And I've been saying this time and time again. I'm sorry, my dog just jumped down the steps here by me. But one thing I'm saying is this. You can't, if Mahomes is able to win this game, if Andy Reid is able to win this game, this shows you how good they are. And not even just good, but great. Because not many players in the league, not many teams in the league. I would go as far as to say I don't think it has ever happened before. A team that's going through this many distractions, this many injuries, all this happening, and to go on and beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I mean, Eli Manning did good against Brady in the Super Bowl, but there's very few quarterbacks that do good against Eli Manning and have faced this much adversity. And the other guy, the only guy I feel like in the NFL that might be able to do it is Coach Andy Reid and quarterback Patrick Mahomes. And that's their competition. Now again, if this was any normal time, if this was any normal situation, if this was a normal Chiefs team with their defense, which is still basically in place, and their offensive line that is healthy, and Andy Reid's son, Britt Reid, didn't do anything stupid, I feel like this team can win. I would put my money on the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like the odds, American odds right now, Vegas, if they're still choosing the Chiefs, I feel like they better get their money back and put it back in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they already invested and they can't take back out because a lot has changed over the last week, over the last 2 weeks, let's go with, that wasn't there back then. My money, if you go back to the video, I said I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be the Green Bay Packers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Might say if you had a gun to your head, yada, yada, who would you choose? That was my matchup. And I had the Chiefs or the Packers. I didn't know who I was going to have win. But I didn't have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You never count out Brady. I didn't expect him to be here. Although I thought if he was truly great, which I know he is, they would get here. They got here. They went past my... I expected them to be here, but I didn't think they would be here. They got here. That just shows you how great Brady honestly is. The only thing I still want to see Brady do, which I don't think we'll ever see, is Tom Brady go to a team that's not winning and turn their organization around. He's 45 years old, right, Mike? Is that right? 45?
Buccaneers weren't winning.
I know, but it was because of Jameis. I understand that. But let me just finish this up. So the final part of this, and I'll let you guys go back, is Tom Brady has gotten here. Patrick Mahomes has gotten here. The two quarterbacks, I know we say Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. I absolutely believe he is. They're saying that Patrick Mahomes is the up-and-coming GOAT. Very possible. We're going to have a very good look here tonight. Not tonight, but tomorrow, Sunday night, to see who truly is the GOAT. And I feel like if Patrick Mahomes somehow beats Brady, I would be shocked. I would be shocked. And that, to me, would show that, hey, Patrick Mahomes is the real deal. If he can overcome all this adversity, his turf toe, bad offensive line, no Britt Reed not being available now because of this, Andy Reid maybe not be focused because of his son being in a car crash. Yeah, you know what? If Mahomes can win this game, he's the real deal. And maybe we can start saying he is maybe potentially the next greatest of all time. What do you guys think? Mike, I'll let you go. I know you have.
Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. But if he beats Tom Brady tomorrow, that doesn't make him the GOAT. Tom Brady has been doing it for so long. And Tom Brady has been in some bad scenarios too. Lack of weapons. We've seen his whole career in New England, lack of weapons. Needing to rely on guys like Chris Hogan and Danny Amendola to make a big play. So he's had his fair share of adversity. I understand what the Chiefs are going through is tough. I mean, it would be crazy, but Mahomes still has weapons. He still has Tyreek Hill. He still has Travis Kelce. He still has Mecole Hardman. He still has Sammy Watkins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's got guys that can get the job done regardless of an offensive line. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win this game, but I'm not going to make excuses for Kansas City if they lose. I understand they are going through what they're going through is tough, but the better team will win tomorrow.
Let me hop in real fast. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not trying to go and say, I just feel like this is a great passing the torch moment. If Mahomes can win, I agree with you. I think Brady's gotten it done with lackluster weapons for years. That's just the truth. I mean, if anyone wants to debate us, you're more than welcome to come on the channel and debate us in front of us, and then we'll break it down. But a lot of people just run and hide. They don't want to. So here's my point. Tom Brady has been through a lot of lackluster weapons, and that's what truly makes Brady great, is that he's been able to win with Chris Hogan, with Danny Amendola. You mentioned Mike in the previous. I know Wes Welker and Rob Gronkowski and all these guys panned out to be greats, but there's a reason why Rob Gronkowski doesn't want to play for anybody besides Tom Brady, because he knows his greatness. If Rob Gronkowski was truly great, he would go somewhere else and play for a different quarterback. I'm not knocking anything from Rob Gronkowski. It's just that if you're truly great, you'll step away from other players around you, other sufficient pieces, and still make the team around you excel. And that's something that Tom Brady has been known to doing everywhere he's went. Whether it's Tampa Bay, New England, he's done it in both places. What I'm saying with Patrick Mahomes is this. There's been a lot of criticism, including myself. I'll be the first one to raise my hand. I think he's one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. But what I always say is, and you guys can say it, is I think that he has a lot of talent around him. And right now, this is the least amount of talent he's had. He still has Tyreek Hill. He still has Travis Kelce. That's fine. But an offensive line means a lot. He supposedly has turf toe. Now, the guy's always limping, so I really don't know. But let's go with he has turf toe. If he can somehow pull out this win against one of the best front sevens in football right now, and I feel like an absolutely pretty dang good secondary that the Buccaneers have, I feel like that goes. I mean, if it's not exactly passing the torch, I feel like then this means that you can put this on Pat Mahomes' resume for, hey, look what he was able to do with lack of weapons around him. And then I can't use that argument anymore. I mean, of course, I would like to see him win without Kelsey and Hill, but ultimately, at the end of the day, if he can win without his offensive line, his 2 tackles, you know what? I can say, Patrick Mahomes, you have earned all my respect. There's no way I can criticize you in any way, and I never have. I'm not Patrick Mahomes hater. I think this guy is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. But this is something that he can finally do to surpass everybody's complaints. Mike Jackson, I think you had something to say.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary is good. I'd say they look good because the front seven is so good. But what I would say about Mahomes, what if the tackles come in and play well? That's a possibility. We're all counting that out. The tackles could come in and play well, and then it's not going to make a difference. I mean, of course, they're not going to. We wouldn't think they would be as good, but these are 2 young men getting an opportunity to show what they can do at the biggest stage in their career. That might excel, and they might play a great football game.
They could. I'm just saying that this is not the ideal situation for the Chiefs to be in, and I feel like if they can win, say it again.
They've had 2 weeks to prepare. 2 weeks to prepare for this. And the Chiefs defense is practicing. I mean, that's a tough defense, too. That's what we're not talking about. We're not talking about the Chiefs defense.
Which
in Spagnola.
I want to hop into that in a second.
Yes.
Jackson, you go ahead. If you want to talk about that, you go ahead.
Well, this Chiefs defense has played. I mean, they played great. Couple weeks ago against Buffalo. They played pretty solid against Cleveland. They've been playing pretty solid all season. It's just the reason it gets missed because you know why? Because the quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, and they got Tyreek Hill and Andy Reid and all these guys. I mean, L'Jarius Sneed, this was a 4th-round draft pick, and he's playing like a number 1 cornerback going against number 1 receivers. Charvarius Ward, I mean, I've been knocking the guy, but I mean, as of late, he hasn't been playing as bad. Tyrann Mathieu single-handedly probably changed that defense. Juan Thornhill is an absolute stud. I mean, the only question mark I really have on the Chiefs' defense, without even Britt Reed being there as the coach, is the linebackers. I mean, besides Anthony Hitchens, I have question marks. I mean, they're missing Willie Gay. I mean, Dorian O'Daniel, he's more of a special teams guy, but he's going to have to slide in there and start. Ben Neiman's not that good either. I mean, this Chiefs defense, I mean, other than that spot, gets overlooked pretty hard. And I think they can hang well with this Tampa Bay offense, and they did in Week 12. I know you say it's a different Tampa Bay team, but I mean, they hung well with them in Week 12, and I think they can hang well with them again.
I'll tell you what this defense is going to struggle with. It's not going to be their linebackers. It's not going to be their defensive line because, as we know, Tampa Bay does not like to commit to the run. They're going to have a hard time covering Mike Evans. They're small corners. They're fast corners, but they're small corners, not used to going up with big physical receivers. I think they're going to struggle tremendously with Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans catches 2 touchdowns in this game. I think Mike Evans is going to be huge. And that's where I want to ask you guys a question. Pick an MVP that's not a quarterback. So, not the MVP of the Super Bowl, but who do you think is going to be a big difference maker in this game tomorrow? Mine, right off the bat, I'm saying it, is Mike Evans. He's going to be the difference maker tomorrow in the Super Bowl.
Jackson, go ahead.
Whoever the wide receiver 2 is on the Chiefs, Sammy Watkins if he suits up, or Mecole Hardman. I think they could have those 2 could have a big part in this offense.
I'm going different. I'm going completely different. There's a lot of controversy right now with the Chiefs' offensive line. I'm going to go with a guy that's been through a lot of adversity himself. Nobody's going to say it. But I'm going to throw something out there. JPP. This guy has been playing with an edge lately. He's been getting after it. He has another opportunity to show himself again on the highest stage of them all against a backup offensive tackle. JPP could single-handedly beat the Chiefs if he gets after Mahomes. Mahomes is great on the run. But if there's going to be a player that can change this game, I know they got Shaq Barrett. I understand that. But I'm telling you now, watch JPP go to work against the Chiefs. And for the Chiefs, if the Chiefs want to win, again, I'm going to go back to defense. Tyrann Mathieu, of course, that's a good name. But I want to point out one other player that I want to put a focal point on. Again, I'm just throwing out two names on defense that no one's going to talk about. But it's going to come down to JPP for the Buccaneers. And I think the guy on defense for the Chiefs is going to be somebody by the name of Juan Thornhill. I think that's the kid. You don't want to test Matthew. You don't want to test him. So who are you going to go testing to? What side of the field? Juan Thornhill side. And that kid has made plays time and time again. Same thing with L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed has been playing phenomenal. But my point is this. I think Juan Thornhill could be the guy that made some big plays for the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow. Him, JPP, those are the two guys on defense I want to look out for. Again, you don't want to throw. I don't think Tom Brady's stupid enough to throw at Tyrann Mathieu. He's going to look away from him. Juan Thornhill didn't have to be the guy he targets. And for the Patrick Mahomes, I'm sorry, you cannot not target JPP. He's going to be coming at you. So you got to get going. You got to get moving outside. I said the same thing last year with the Chiefs. I said the way you beat the Niners is if you get Mahomes out of the pocket. That's what they did. Me and Tony made a video, San Francisco 49ers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. We made a video on We Are Sports Gaming last year. I said you got to get Mahomes outside the pocket to win the game. If you keep Mahomes in the pocket, Nick Bosa's going to be coming off one side. You're going to have DeForest Buckner. It's going to become a mess. This year, same thing. You got to get Mahomes out of the pocket. If you keep him in there, the pass rushers on the edge are going to come in hot. And they're going to get after Mahomes. You got to establish the run, get play action going, and get Mahomes out of the pocket. Those are your three keys to win this game, Kansas City. If you don't do those three things, you're not going to win this football game. Establish a run, get out of the pocket, and you gotta stop the two guys coming off the edge. It's vital. You gotta stop them. Go ahead, Mike.
I'll tell you the fourth thing for the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game is getting pressure to Tom Brady. If you give Tom Brady time, he will pick you apart better than any quarterback ever. We know Steve Spagnuolo. We know how he calls defense. He's going to be sending guys up that A-gap all day long. Tampa needs to block well. You got to buy Tom Brady time. And in the same token, the Chiefs are thinking we got to get pressure to this guy because it's the only thing that can stop him. That's what I got to say. That is the recipe for success for the Kansas City Chiefs. If they pressure Tom Brady, they can win this football game.
I agree, Jets. What else you got? Anything else you want to say?
I gotta agree with you, man. I mean, I think a guy that could honestly have a pretty big game is Frank Clark. He's had success last season in the Super Bowl. He's had success so far in the playoffs. So, I mean, people been knocking on Frank Clark this past season. He's not really, living up to what the contract he got with the Chiefs, 5 years, over $100 million. But I think he could be a big guy that, maybe gets a sack or two in this game or creates a lot of disruption in the pass game.
You know who's going to be playing hungry is Ndamukong Suh. Finally get an opportunity to get a ring on his finger. He's going to be playing hungry for Tampa.
Not only that, you also got to remember Vita Vea's back. I mean, that guy came back from a terrible injury. Coming back for these playoffs, I'm telling you something. Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, JPP, Shaq
Antoine
Barrett.
Winfield is back.
Antoine Winfield. You can't forget about Antoine Winfield. He's been playing phenomenal this year. You got your two cornerbacks. Really, Sean Murphy-Buntling's the guy you want to mention. Carlton Davis, not so much. I mean, you saw what they did. Here's the two options that the Buccaneers have. I watched the first game. When they go in man coverage, they would, for some reason, have Carlton Davis on Tyreek Hill, and it did not look good at all. Not good at all. Then they would go into zone, and Travis Kelce eats up over the middle. You got to choose one.
Devin White needs to. If there's anyone that's no one's gonna stop Travis Kelce. Let's just get that out there right now. Nobody's gonna stop him. But if there's anyone that can slow him down, I like Devin White to be that guy. So they just need to contain Tyreek Hill from burning somebody, and the way to do that is to put Sean Murphy-Bunting on him. He's a quicker corner. He's not physical like Carlton Davis, but you don't want a physical guy on Tyreek Hill because he's just gonna run past you like we saw. And it all goes back to getting pressure. If they're getting pressure to Mahomes, sacking Mahomes, hitting Mahomes, they're going to have success.
But what my main point is what you saw in that first game, when they were in man, Tyree touchdown.
Yeah.
They'll go back to zone. All right, they're getting to the midfield. They're going there. Back to man. Tyree touchdown. Then they just completely went to zone. They were looking good, and I think Tyree scored another. How many touchdowns did Tyreek Hill have that game? 2, 3? Just big plays.
3 with like 270 yards.
Every time they went to man, Carlton Davis got burned. When they played zone, Kansas City wasn't scoring touchdowns. They were stopping them. As soon as it went back to man, it happened. I remember I heard this from Chris Collinsworth, who commentated the game. I just saw him on this podcast. They were talking about the Super Bowl. He said the same thing. He noticed the same thing. You got to stay in zone. If you are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Todd Bowles, I'm pretty sure, is the defensive coordinator, you got to go back to zone. You can't go to man. You got to let them eat up in the middle and settle for field goals. You cannot let up touchdowns by trying to go to man. The other thing I want to say is this. For Patrick Mahomes, for Tom Brady, the way you stop him, and it's tough. This guy's seen it all. There's not much that he hasn't seen, but you're going to have to try to trick him. Because one thing that makes Tom Brady so great is that he's able to decipher what the defense is doing at the line of scrimmage and call out exactly what they're doing and make adjustments and audibles at the line. Steve Spagnuolo needs to have something up his sleeve, either sending pressure.
It is pressure. Pressure because, honest to God, you can't really trick him. Tom Brady is pretty much knows every coverage in the game. He's been there for so long and so good at dissecting in his whole career. You got to hit him. You got to get pressure to him. Spags knows what he's doing.
I agree with it. Is that all from you guys?
Yeah.
I want to mention what were you saying about Spagnuolo the other day, Nick?
Me? I think that he makes great halftime adjustments. I think he's one of the best defense coordinators in the league.
He learned from that.
That's going to be a big part of the game, I think. Second half adjustments from Steve Spagnuolo.
They want to hit. They want to hit the quarterback.
Absolutely. So we're gonna have to wait to see. I'm excited to see what they got to bring to the table here. Any questions from our viewers? Comment now. Let us know what you guys think in the live chat. Let us know what you want to hear. Any questions? Who do you guys got for the Super Bowl? Do you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Do you got the Kansas City Chiefs? Who the heck do you got? Again, Mike, how's that weather there in Tampa? Pretty nice so far?
Yeah, dude. You can just see the sky out here, man. It is beautiful behind me.
What are you guys' thoughts on home field? Being in Tampa Bay.
I think it's huge. I think it's huge. It might be raining a little bit tomorrow. I haven't checked the weather. I don't know if rain's still in the forecast. I think it's huge to be home. Imagine getting to play a Super Bowl at your home field. It's amazing.
Here's where there's 20,000 people allowed. Most of those people are vaccinated health workers.
So much for the fans. I'm talking about for just the familiarity. They're there every day. They're practicing there. They're there every single day in Tampa Bay.
No flight.
Yeah.
They're settled.
Kansas City's practicing in the cold. Like, what are you practicing in the cold to go play in Tampa Bay for?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting to see who wins this game. I'm excited. I think this is one of the best Super Bowls in a long time. John Roby says Brady will win. Tony says woo, go Chiefs. Again, there's a lot of things here that we gotta break down, and we'll figure it out. But again, let us know what you guys think is gonna win in the comments section, because nobody's really watching in the live chat besides John Roby and Tony. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know who you guys think is going to win. Again, I'm going final decision. I'm locking mine in. There's no change and no going back. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike?
You have a score prediction?
I didn't think of one. I'll make a post on Instagram. If you guys haven't already, make sure you go follow our Instagram. So I'll make sure I post that on Instagram before. I don't know yet. I have no idea. I got to think about that one.
Yeah, I'm going Tampa too. I do not have a score yet in mind. So I'll wait, post it on Instagram. Watch the Instagram. You'll see my story. It'll probably have some badass rock and roll to go into it. So
Yep.
We'll get fired up.
We got a comment by Alex the King. Welcome to the live stream. I think you might be new here. He says he got KC winning. Kansas City, hey, it's a good possibility. Jackson, go ahead. And Alex, stay around real fast. Stay around. Don't leave. Let us know why you got Kansas City winning. Go ahead, Jackson.
Yeah, I got Kansas City, like you guys been saying. I'll have the score prediction probably sometime tomorrow on Instagram. But I think Kansas City's going to come away with this one.
All right, so real fast, Alex, welcome to the stream. We're glad to have you here. Be sure, all you guys here, check out our channel. We got so much content. No matter what team you like, what team you don't like, we got so much stuff on this channel. Right now, we're in the middle of our salary cap review videos. We're breaking down each 32-team salaries, projecting their free agency offseason realistically. After this 32-team series, we're going to hop into free agency videos, breaking down all 32 teams in separate videos. We do one video per team. We're going to break down who are potential names. Rather than doing the realistic video, one player goes to each team, we're going to have a bunch of videos where we talk about potential names, 3-4 guys that they can probably potentially bring in. And lastly, then we're going to do our scouting analysis and mock drafts towards the draft. And of course, we do our live commentary too. We cover all sports. WWE, I mean, that was the last pay-per-view that we did. The NFL, that's huge. NBA, MLB, we cover everything. UFC, boxing, everything. Pay-per-views are coming at you live, so you guys don't have to buy it, you as the viewers. So stay tuned for that. He says, I have the Bucs winning the first half, but Mahomes making a comeback. You can't go wrong with that. How about that, Jackson?
He's better with a lead than Brady.
Yeah.
No one plays better than without a lead than Brady.
It is something interesting.
I want to mention one thing, and I know, Mike, you've been knocking me on it, but I'm going to keep saying it. The 3 fourth-quarter picks he threw against Green Bay. I'm going to just leave it at that.
Won't do it in the Super Bowl. Statistically speaking,
I see in that regard. I know I'm a big stats guy, but I kind of lean away from that because let's forget about what he did back then. This is now, right? And even if he throws 1 fourth quarter in, what did he come away with, like 3-10 points? What was it, Nick? You know how many points Rodgers came away with after those turns?
I think it was 6,
points
right?
off 3 turnovers.
6 point. I think you put Mahomes in that situation. Green Bay wins that game.
How many picks did Mahomes throw last year in the Super Bowl?
2.
I bet you Brady capitalizes extremely well off the turnovers. I bet you he turns the ball over again.
All right, well, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's going to be an interesting game, and I'm super excited to watch it.
Again, I told you guys, in my opinion, personally, I mean, you got to understand, it's not a normal game here. All right, you're a Packers fan. That's good. I was a fan of I want to see the Packers versus Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That was my hope, but we got this one.
You want to know what's unfortunate?
What?
Being a Packers fan, not being able to get out of the NFC Championship. Aaron Rodgers has played his whole career for Green Bay. Tom Brady comes to the NFC one time and has as many NFC Championship wins than Aaron Rodgers does. It just makes you wonder why can't Aaron Rodgers win the big game?
Yeah, but that's the thing too. Like, we continue to say it. Like, I'm gonna break this down real fast. Let's go in because Alex is here. So Alex, we want to keep you on. We want to give you content because you're actually tuning in. So let's go forward to that real fast. Let's look at Aaron Rodgers and break down the situation. We'll give you our opinions. So stay tuned. Let us know if you want to hear about this. We're gonna hop right in. And again, you're more than welcome to join the show. We'll definitely come on. If you want to join, you're more than welcome to come on and talk your opinion, and we can discuss this at another time. But let's talk about it right now. Aaron Rodgers, best quarterback I've ever seen in my lifetime. Most talented for sure. Patrick Mahomes is talented, but he has to do it again. We need to see him for a while doing this. But Aaron Rodgers is very talented. Then you got a question. Have they gave him the sufficient pieces? Everyone says, well, the Jordan Love pick this year didn't give him sufficient pieces. But he had pieces. And when you go back to the NFC game this year, he could have stepped up and ran and got a 4th and manageable, 4th and 4, 4th and 3. He wouldn't have scored a touchdown on that 3rd down play that I'm talking about in the red zone in the goal line. He was like within 10 yards. He could have ran. Devin White was there. Levante David was there. He could have stepped up and gained 3-4 yards and ran. Instead, he threw the ball. Now 4th down comes around. Everyone wants to blame Matt LaFleur. Everyone wants to blame. See, the one thing, I love Rodgers. I think he's talented. Most talented guy I've ever seen. But he loves to play the blame game. Everyone wants to blame that the Packers haven't gave him sufficient pieces. And maybe that's the case. Maybe that is the case. But I can't say that this year. Can't. Would another piece have helped? Absolutely. Maybe they go and get one this year, but it didn't come down to not having another piece. It came down to him not stepping up and running for 3-4 yards. Rodgers, take the blame. Don't say, oh, Matt LaFleur should have not have kicked the field goal and we should have went for it and it was a questionable decision. No, the questionable decision was you not stepping up and gaining those 3-4 yards. That's the problem. Do more. Practice harder. I mean, Mike, you and I talked about this 100 times, and what I think Packers fans might be opening up their eyes to it. And I got nothing wrong with it. I love Packers fans. Believe me, I got nothing wrong with them. But Aaron Rodgers is very lazy because how talented he is. He holds the ball like you said, like this, all blah, blah, blah. Not one thing I got to give Brady credit for, and I'm not a big Brady fan, but it's his mechanics. It's his attention to detail that makes him not the most talented quarterback, but makes him so good because he's so technical. What's that?
Just his mentality in general.
Exactly. Now Rodgers, real fast, Rodgers, most talented guy in the world, but the problem with talent is sometimes he gets to your brain. And he knows that he can hold the ball with one hand and not use two to protect the football. He knows he can sling it like this or sling it like that and no look and pass it like this. Let me tell you something, the guy's talented. But when it comes down to it, sometimes you got to take the blame. And sometimes you got to say, what can I be doing? What could I personally do that can make my team get from point A to point B? And that's what I don't see Rodgers doing right now. Right now, he's playing the blame game. Oh, poor me. They drafted this guy. Rodgers, you are at the end of your career, whether you like it or not. You had a phenomenal year. You were MVP candidacy, but you're towards the end, right? He's not young anymore. Not saying he's not playing one of the best football that he's ever played, but he is getting towards the back end of his career. And to me, Aaron Rodgers needs to do more. This year, draft more players. I think A.J. Dillon was a great draft choice. I loved him coming out. Mike, I know you did too. And I feel like maybe this year you add another receiver. Yeah. Let Jordan Love develop. But don't put the blame on Matt LaFleur. Mike, I'll let you take and talk about Aaron Rodgers real fast.
The blame for this game should not be put on Matt LaFleur, although it was stupid not to go for it because think of it like this. You're giving Tom Brady the ball back. You're not asking Tom Brady to go put points on the board. You're asking Tom Brady to get a first down. You're giving the ball back to the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. And you're saying, go get a first down. That is ignorant. But besides, there were mistakes in this game. Aaron Rodgers missed throws in the end zone. Not even the last drive. Take the last drive even out of consideration. Think about only scoring 6 points off of 3 turnovers. That right there, Davante Adams drops a touchdown early in the game, holds him to 3. Rodgers misses Davante Adams in the back of the end zone. So it's not – a lot of the blame is on Aaron Rodgers. You can't just look at Matt LaFleur here because Matt LaFleur is part of the reason they were in this situation to begin with. But if I was Aaron Rodgers, I would be a little mad you didn't get me a weapon because I understand taking Jordan Love, but why aren't you making a deal at the deadline to get me another wide receiver? Or don't draft Jordan Love and take Brandon Ayuk and have Davante Adams and Brandon Ayuk on the field. It's a completely different Packers team.
Absolutely.
So if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I think he had the season he had because he was motivated because they drafted Jordan Love. But at the end of the day, Aaron Jones coughing up the football and Davante Adams not making a catch in the end zone and Aaron Rodgers missing him himself came back to hurt him. So I would say they lack a little personnel on the offensive side of the ball. But Aaron Rodgers' clutch play and making good decisions, making an accurate throw, it wouldn't have made a difference. They still could have won that game.
I agree with you. If you guys are just tuning in now, be sure to comment something in the live chat. We're talking about all kinds of teams out. We did our Super Bowl prediction. Jackson, again, anything with you about Rodgers and the Packers?
I got mixed feelings about that. Yeah, it is kind of a dickhead move to go call out your head coach and saying, oh, you should have went to go for it. But also, I was watching the game live, and I was like, you need to be running that football in. You could have got – I thought, honestly, at the time he could have got in, and I watched the replay. He probably had 4 or 5 yards going in. Drafting a weapon like Mike said, it would have helped. That makes a significant difference. Like a guy like Brandon Ayuk makes a significant difference in that offense. T. Higgins, exactly. How many touchdowns did Davante Adams have this season? 16, 17, 18, something around then, had 1,400 yards. I feel like half the time Rodgers kind of just throwing it up to Davante Adams, hoping he's making a play. And Rodgers did miss throws in that game. I know there was one instance where he missed. Were you talking about like him missing Adams in the back of the end zone?
Yeah. That
same play, he had Allen Lazard wide open across the middle for a touchdown too.
Oh, yep.
So I think sometimes maybe he's trying to force it to Davante Adams. I'm a big fan of Allen Lazard. I think he's a solid guy. If you get another piece, Allen Lazard could maybe be really successful in that offense. We'll have to wait and see. This is going to be an interesting interesting off-season for the Green Bay Packers. It's just going to be an interesting off-season in general. I can't wait to see what goes on in Green Bay.
And Aaron Rodgers could have done things differently, too, because it's 4th down. If Aaron Rodgers really wanted, if he wanted to go for it, Aaron Rodgers could have just stayed on the field. He could have stayed on the field and said, Matt, we're going for this.
Absolutely.
I didn't see any fight. I saw him walk off the field moping like he normally does. Aaron Rodgers could have stayed on that football field and said, "We are going to go for it here on this fourth down." What is the head coach going to do? He's not going to tell him no. He's not going to waste the timeout. He's going to say, "All right, go."
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Be honest, Aaron Rodgers is elite, man. He could have stayed on that field, called his own play, and went for it. If Matt LaFleur didn't like it, he would have dealt with it afterwards. But Aaron Rodgers could have took a stand. I mean, it's his team at the end of the day. Aaron Rodgers has a lot of input in that offense and just in that team in general.
Yeah, no, I agree. Look, I'm going to go right back to it again real fast, and we'll sum this one up. Alex, if you're still here, say something in the live chat. We'd love to see that you're still here. Look, you look at Aaron Rodgers. I mean, think about Matt LaFleur. You're on the sideline. Your offense is stalled out how many times in a row? It's 4th and long now. 4th and 8, I think it was. 4th and 8, 4th and 9, 4th and 7, something like that. You're not going anywhere. You just had multiple attempts at the end zone. You didn't get there. 4th and 8 now. You know what? You stopped the Buccaneers a few drives in a row here. You know what? We're just going to kick the field goal, hope to get ball in better field position, and what 4th and 8, I'm not saying the call was right, but in the heat of the moment, I know this is what the coaches are paid for, but we got to understand that, hey, you know what? You look at the situation that Matt LaFleur was in. The Buccaneers were stalling out. Like Jetson said, he's throwing interceptions, this, that, and the other thing. The run game, yeah, okay, whatever. Aaron Rodgers is not getting it in. He wasn't punching it in. I don't know what we can say. Oh, well, there's a chance, so they should have just did it. Matt LaFleur made a decision. Rodgers didn't do it on 3rd down. He didn't do it on 2nd down. He didn't do it on 1st down. What the hell did it make you say he did it on 4th down? That's just stupid to say. It's stupid to argue. So my thing is this. They made a decision. I stand by Matt LaFleur's decision. In the heat of the moment, he thought that was the best decision. Can't argue with them. Can't argue with them.
I can't argue with him because, I'm not putting the blame on LaFleur whatsoever, but you're giving the ball back. I mean, it's ignorant to sit there and think Tom Brady can't go out there and get a first down. That is ignorant. You're giving the ball to the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, and it's not like you're winning. It's not like you're up kicking the field goal, put you up 2. You're not even asking him to put any points on the board. You're saying, "Here, Tom, go get a first down." We're gonna let. Don't you want you to control your own destiny? Or do you want to give the ball to the greatest of all time, let him go get a first down, and then you're done? So I look at it like 4th and 8, you might not get it, but they're going to have lousy field position. They're going to be on their own 8. You go out there, you go for it, you get it, fantastic. You don't, you're in the same situation if you take the 3 or not. You needed to put points on you would need to stop either way, even if you didn't. If there's the downside was better to go for it than it was to punt the ball. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, no, I agree with you with that take. It's just that, to me, I mean, I'm not going to go and say that's the reason a lot of people are saying that's the reason why they lost. And I'm tired of hearing that.
Oh, yeah, that's not the reason they lost.
Yeah, that's not the reason why they lost.
All right, real fast, so you mentioned that the Packers did bring in Joe Barry from the Los Angeles Rams as their new defensive coordinator. So we'll have to wait and see what he can bring to the table. Again, that's going to be interesting to see what he can do. I'm excited to see that move.
Got some good players on that defense, man. They
I
got
think
a stud, Jair Alexander, Zadarius Smith. They got a great defense. They got great defensive players. They just got to get the scheme down. You got to get a good coach in there.
You know, I agree. Guys, one thing I want you guys to do now, if you're still watching, be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Again, the main thing with you guys is this, especially with the Packers. Green Bay Packers video salary cap review is going to be coming up in probably a few days. I can't think much longer than 2 weeks maybe at the longest. I mean, 7, 14. I mean, 2 weeks would be the very longest. I mean, unless they're the last team that we're doing. But we're coming around that team soon. So be sure to stay tuned and watch our salary review and what we think they're going to do the offseason for that. Turn on post notifications. Subscribe. Tell your friends, family. I don't care who you tell. Make sure to subscribe. Let's get this channel going. Anything else from you guys?
Nothing from me.
I got nothing too.
Anything from our viewers?
Go with Tampa.
John Roby said, good video. Say hi to Noah for me. Will do. I'll be talking to him tonight. Creepy guy, man. Creepy guy, John. You are a creep. Anything else, though? Nothing else.
No, nothing.
Can't wait to watch the Super Bowl, man.
Alex,
the best
please subscribe. Do you guys think Joe Burrow is going to be better next season? Go ahead, real fast. This will be our last topic, and then we'll do this again soon. That's actually worked pretty well. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, if they get I don't know when he's going to play because his knee injury was pretty bad. So, I don't know if you mean statistically or if you think you'll see an elevation in his game. But I think if they get offensive linemen to protect the man, I think he'll be a phenomenal quarterback. They just need to protect him. He's got offensive weapons already. He's got Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. So you just protect him. You protect Joe Burrow, he's going to be good in this league.
Jackson?
Oh yeah, they got great weapons. You got T. Higgins, who's been phenomenal this season. If you go back and watch our Bengals salary cap review video, you'll see what we have them doing. But offensive line is definitely the number one need in the draft.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually point you over to that video. You're gonna want to watch that one because I think we had a few good moves there for that team, protecting him at least. You need a good offensive line to really protect Burrow. You gotta protect him. And you can go back. We did a few things on Joe Burrow on this channel. So again, look at our playlist. We got all the playlists listed. It's not gonna be hard. You go under NFL debates. Look at those. You can go on our salary cap. Look at those. We got all kinds of things coming out. It's a really good channel. I'm really happy with what we've been able to do so far. But again, for Joe Burrow, that injury was it hurts. But let me tell you something what it does. Sometimes, and I noticed this with wrestling myself, when I took my senior year, I stopped, right? And I took a look from the outside looking in, watching it from outside perspective. And I kind of honestly wish I did that sooner because the things that you notice, taking a step back and not being in it, I feel like it makes you a better player or a better performer. It's like when you take a step out and you start to watch as a fan or as a spectator, you start to see the little things that you might be able to do in your game, how to perfect your own game that you wouldn't necessarily realize when you're in the situation. So Joe Burrow having this a long period of time to sit back and watch and evaluate his play and to watch maybe different teams, how they attack him and the defenses that they run. He hasn't had a break this long at all in his life. That's the truth. He's probably been playing since he's been a little kid, and this is the first time in his life that he gets to take a big, long period of time where he's able to sit there and watch and evaluate his gameplay. So to me, you know what? I think that Joe Burrow, he's going to come back better. The knee injury is concerning. And when you throw a football, right, you're here, you translate. Where does all that pressure go? Onto your left knee if you're a right. It all transfers to your left knee as you go from your back hip, right? You transfer, you end up on that knee. That scares me, but you got to build the offensive line. I think Joe Burrow is going to be better. John Roby, man, look at this guy. But anyway, anything else? I think he meant to say something else, but Big Sick Joe. I think he was trying to go, yes. I think he misspelled an S with a D, and maybe his fingers were too big. S and D are next to each other on a keyboard. So, yeah, John, you're an interesting guy. Anything else from you? I think that's all. Is that all from you guys?
That's all from me. Time to go record our other video.
Yeah, I know. It's about time to record that. So, guys, stay tuned. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, post notifications, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, everything.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe, buddy. We got a lot of videos.
Yeah, we do.
Got a lot coming.
Yep, we do. So, I think we're like 17 through now. So we still got, we're almost done with the first series. So we'll see how we make out. But go into our playlist, check us out. We got a lot of videos for you guys to check out. So let us know. Comment. We love to read our comments and see what's going on. Do you guys think, real fast, final one. This is our final one.
Yeah,
final one.
Absolutely. I absolutely think Justin Herbert can lead the Chargers to the playoffs.
I think so.
With another weapon.
Again, go back to the Chargers salary cap video. Again, that we break it down pretty good there, I think.
Yeah, we got him adding a nice piece to help Justin Herbert. Again, me and Mike did rank Justin Herbert as the number one quarterback prospect last year in the draft. 2 was Joe, and 3 was Tua. I stand by that. Mike, yours was the same, right? Burrow was 2 and Tua was 3? So, we'll have to wait and see. But again, you guys stay tuned. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe. That's all. We're going to do another live stream soon, so just stay tuned. We'll definitely do it for sure. And again, we buy pay-per-view, so I think right now me and Tony might be plugging in a pay-per-view for February 21st. You guys are not going to want to miss out on that. So, guys, sign off now. Nick.
Mike.
And Jackson.
From Top Notch Sports, we are.
Go better.